Welcome again, my people. Welcome to Limitless Tales with Peace. Today's story is an ancient African folktale, a story of pride, correction, and destiny. Before we begin, my people, if you love African stories like this, please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any tale. Today's story is about the girl who refused advice until life taught her. They say when the moon shines too brightly over a village, it reveals both beauty and shame. This is one of such stories.
Long ago, in a land where elders' words were heavier than gold, there lived a girl whose beauty turned heads, but whose behavior turned hearts cold. Her name was Charity. Charity was the only daughter of Chief Okore, a respected man whose compound was large and whose name opened doors in neighboring villages. Her mother, Mama Uju, was known for kindness and wisdom. People greeted them with honor, but when it came to their daughter, people only sighed. For Charity had everything, yet she lacked the one thing money could not buy: character. From a young age, Charity refused advice. She spoke to elders as if they were her age mates. She insulted market women, ignored greetings, and laughed when corrected. When her mother called her, she rolled her eyes. When her father spoke, she walked away. The villagers began to whisper. That girl will bury her parents in shame, some said. A child who refuses advice invites trouble, others warned. But Charity did not care. She walked through the village with pride, her head high, her ears closed. She believed respect was for the weak, and correction was an insult. If elders spoke, she mocked them. If children greeted her, she ignored them. One market day, an old woman fell near Charity's feet. Instead of helping, Charity laughed and walked away. The people watching shook their heads in sorrow. That evening, Mama Uju cried quietly in her room. "Our daughter is lost," she whispered to her husband. Chief Okore said nothing. He only stared into the fire, his heart heavy. They tried everything. They spoke softly. Charity laughed. They warned her. Charity ignored them. They punished her. Charity grew more stubborn. Soon, Charity's name became a proverb in the village. When a child misbehaved, elders would say, "Do you want to become like Charity?" The final straw came during the festival of First Harvest, a sacred day when youths were expected to show respect and discipline. In front of elders, visitors, and neighboring chiefs, Charity behaved disgracefully. She spoke rudely, refused instructions, and walked out of the gathering without permission. Silence fell over the village square. Chief Okore felt the earth open beneath his feet. That night, the elders sent word. There will be a meeting, they said, under the ancient tree. Everyone knew what that meant. The ancient tree was where serious matters were discussed, matters of life, lineage, and honor. As the moon rose that night, Charity slept peacefully, unaware that her life was about to change forever. Because when elders gather, decisions are not made with anger, but with wisdom. And when a child refuses advice for too long, life itself becomes the teacher. Little did Charity know, the girl who mocked correction would soon meet discipline, and pride would finally bow to wisdom. The next morning, the village woke in silence. No drum sounded. No laughter rose from the compounds. Even the birds seemed to sing more softly. By sunrise, the elders had gathered under the ancient Iroko tree, the tree that had witnessed generations come and go. Men with grey beards sat on wooden stools. Women known for wisdom sat behind them. Each face carried one message. This matter was heavy. Chief Okore and Mama Uju arrived last. They walked slowly, like people carrying a load too heavy for the body. When they knelt before the elders, Mama Uju could no longer hold her tears. "Our fathers, our mothers," she cried, "we have failed. Help us save our child." The oldest elder, Elder Namdi, cleared his throat. His voice was calm but firm. A child does not grow wild overnight, he said. But when correction is rejected again and again, silence becomes danger. He turned to Chief Okore. Your daughter has insulted elders, disgraced your house, and mocked our customs. If nothing is done, she would destroy not only herself, but your lineage. The elders murmured in agreement. One woman elder spoke next. We have watched her. We have warned her. She does not listen. A child who refuses gentle words must hear the language of discipline. Mama Oju held her wrapper tightly. What must we do? She asked in a trembling voice. Elder Nnamdi raised his staff. There is a woman beyond the hills, he said. Madame Oforanta. She is not cruel, but she is firm. Many stubborn children have entered her house like fire and returned like water. Chief Okore's heart sank. You want us to send our only daughter away, he asked. The elder nodded. Yes, not to punish her, he said, but to save her. That evening, when Charity was called before her parents, she did not kneel. She folded her arms. So now the whole village is gossiping about me, she said rudely. Is that why you called me? Mama Oju tried to speak, but tears choked her voice. Chief Okore stood up. You will leave this village at sunrise tomorrow, he said. You are going to learn what we failed to teach you. Charity laughed. You think sending me away will change me, she said. I am not afraid. But that night, as she lay on her mat, sleep refused to come. For the first time, fear knocked gently on her heart. At dawn, without drums or celebration, Charity was led away. No friends came to say goodbye. No laughter followed her footsteps. Only the eyes of the village watched her go, some with pity, others with hope. As the village disappeared behind her, Charity felt something she had never felt before, loneliness. And far ahead, waiting silently, was a place that would strip her of pride and teach her lessons no words ever could. The journey to Madame Oforanta's house was long and silent. Charity walked behind her father, her fine clothes already covered with dust. The road was narrow, surrounded by thick bushes and tall trees. The farther they walked, the quieter Charity became. No laughter followed her steps now, only the sound of her own breathing. By midday, they arrived. The house was simple. Mud walls, a zinc roof, and a wide compound swept clean. No decorations, no signs of wealth, just order. Madame Oforanta stepped out slowly. She was not tall, but her presence filled the compound. Her eyes were sharp, and her face showed no anger, only understanding. She looked at Charity for a long moment, then nodded. So this is the fire they sent to me, she said calmly. Charity frowned. I am not fire, she replied sharply. Madame Oforanta smiled faintly. We shall see, she said. Chief Okore explained everything. Madame Oforanta listened without interrupting. When he finished, she turned to Charity. In this house, she said, no one is special. Everyone works. Everyone listens. Pride has no bed here. Charity rolled her eyes. That first night, Charity slept on a hard mat. No soft bed, no servant, no special treatment. Before sunrise, a loud knock shook the door. Wake up, a voice shouted. The day waits for no one. Charity stumbled outside. She was giving chores, fetching water, sweeping, washing clothes, cooking for others. Her hands ached, her feet burned. When she complained, no one answered. When she refused, she was left standing alone until she obeyed. For the first time in her life, Charity was ignored. Days turned into weeks. Charity tried her old ways, rudeness, insults, pride. But here, they carried no power. No one argued with her, no one begged her. Silence corrected her better than words. One evening, exhausted and angry, Charity sat alone and cried. I was respected at home, she whispered. People feared me. An older girl looked at her and said gently, they feared your parents, not you. Those words struck Charity harder than any punishment. Slowly, something inside her began to crack. She learned to greet properly. She learned to listen before speaking. She learned that respect was not weakness. Madame Ofranta watched quietly. One night, she called Charity aside. Pride is loud, but wisdom speaks softly. When you are ready to listen, life will teach you. Charity said nothing. But that night, she knelt for the first time in her life, not because she was forced, but because she understood. And from that moment, the fire in her heart began to cool.
Seasons passed. The harmattan wind came and went. The rains followed. And with time, Charity was no longer the same girl who arrived with folded arms and proud eyes. Her mornings began before sunrise. She no longer waited to be called. She swept the compound quietly, fetched water without complaint, and helped others without being told. Her greetings changed. She bent her knees. She lowered her eyes. Her voice became soft. The girls around her noticed first. That one has changed, they whispered. The fire has cooled. Madame Ofranta said nothing. She only watched. One afternoon, a younger girl broke a clay pot and began to cry, fearing punishment. Charity walked over, picked the pieces and said gently, do not cry. Mistakes are part of learning. The old Charity would have mocked her, but that girl was gone. One evening, Madame Ofranta called Charity again. You have learned to walk, she said, but walk alone does not make a good person. Tell me, what have you learned? Charity knelt. I learned that respect opens doors, she said. I learned that pride closes ears. And I learned that my parents' silence was pain, not weakness. Madame Ofranta nodded. When a child learns this, she said, the village benefits. Word of Charity's change traveled quietly, like a good smell carried by the wind. Visitors who passed through noticed her humility. Elders who came for meetings nodded in approval. Months later, Madame Ofranta sent a message. It is time, she said. Charity's heart trembled, not with fear, but with responsibility. When she arrived back at her village, people stared. She greeted elders properly. She helped in the market. She spoke little, but wisely. Mama Uju wept openly. Chief Okori held his head high. At the next village gathering, Elder Namdi spoke. This is what correction produces, he said. Not shame, but wisdom. Charity bowed her head. She had returned, not as a proud girl, but as a lesson walking on two legs. Charity did not return to her old ways. That was how the village knew her change was real. Days turned into years, and her humility did not fade with time. Instead, it grew deeper, like roots finding water beneath hard ground. She became a helper to her mother, a comfort to her father, and a guide to younger girls who once feared becoming like her. Wherever Charity went, peace followed. At moonlight gatherings, elders invited her to sit closer. In the market, women trusted her words. During festivals, her behavior spoke louder than any praise song. One evening, during the festival of New Yams, Elder Namdi called her forward. This girl once brought shame, he said, but today she brings honor. The people clapped softly, not in excitement, but in respect. Charity knelt. My fathers and mothers, she said, I am living proof that a child who refuses advice may still be saved,
if correction comes in time. Her parents' eyes filled with tears. From that day, Charity chose a new path. She began teaching young girls under the same Iroko tree where her fate had been decided. She warned them gently, not with anger, but with experience. Her story became a tale told at night. Parents told it to stubborn children. Elders used it as a lesson, and youths listened in silence. And so the village learned that discipline is not hatred, that correction is not cruelty, and that pride may delay wisdom, but it cannot defeat it. Moral lesson: a child who refuses advice invites hardship, but when humility enters the heart, even the hardest life can become a teacher. For character is greater than beauty, and wisdom is richer than wealth. The end.
Your support means everything. Hit like, drop a comment, share, and subscribe to Limitless Tales with Peace for more amazing story.